My name is Lucas, I'm 14 years old, and this happened 3 months ago on a regular Wednesday after school. I had gotten home around 2 in the afternoon. My mom was at work and my dad wasn't coming back until around 7 at night. Before leaving in the morning, my mom warned me that a plumber was going to show up between 2 and 4 in the afternoon to fix a leak under the kitchen sink. She told me to just open the door, let the guy work, and stay in my room playing video games like I always did. I didn't even think much of it. I put on my headphones, went to my room, and started playing Fortnite with some friends online. I was focused on the match, yelling into the mic, laughing, you know how it is. Around 3:30 in the afternoon, I paused the game to go to the bathroom. I took off my headphones and that's when I heard it. Noises coming from the kitchen downstairs. Like tools banging, someone going through drawers, that kind of construction sound. I thought, oh, the plumber arrived, and I didn't even hear the doorbell because of the headphones. I yelled from the upstairs hallway, hello? Everything okay down there? Silence. I thought it was strange but figured maybe the guy had a drill on or something and didn't hear me. I went downstairs slowly, paying attention. When I got to the kitchen, the first thing I saw was an open toolbox on the floor next to the sink. Tools scattered around. But no plumber. Hello? I called again, louder this time. Nothing. And that's when I heard it. Footsteps. Upstairs. Slow, deliberate footsteps walking down the hallway. Exactly where I had been a minute ago. My stomach went cold. Because it didn't make sense. The plumber should be in the kitchen, fixing the sink. Why the hell would he be walking around the bedrooms upstairs? I grabbed my phone from my pocket with a trembling hand and saw a message notification from my mom sent 15 minutes ago. Lucas, the plumber, canceled. Said he can only come tomorrow. Everything okay there? I read that message 3 times trying to process it. The plumber? Canceled. So who the hell was in my house? The footsteps upstairs stopped. Everything went silent. That kind of heavy silence you feel in your ears. I looked at the toolbox on the kitchen floor and realized it wasn't a plumber's toolbox. It was old, rusty, with ancient tools. Like someone had grabbed it from an abandoned basement just to look legitimate. And then, the footsteps started again. But this time heading toward the stairs. Coming down. Coming in my direction. I went into pure panic mode. I ran to the first floor bathroom near the kitchen, went inside, locked the door and pressed my body against it with all my strength. My heart was beating so hard I could hear the blood pulsing in my ears. I stood there, phone in hand, trying to decide whether to call the police or my mom. But before I could do anything, I heard the footsteps reaching the bottom of the stairs. The person stopped there. I could hear his breathing through the door. It was heavy, tired, and then he started walking again, slowly, testing doors. I heard the dining room door open and close, then the hallway closet door. Each sound got closer, until finally, he stopped in front of the bathroom where I was. I looked down and saw it. The shadow of 2 feet through the crack under the door. Dirty sneakers, untied laces. The person was standing there, completely still, just waiting. I held my breath, didn't move an inch. Seconds felt like hours. I could feel that he knew I was in there. He knew. The doorknob started turning slowly. My hand shot to my phone and I dialed 911 so fast I almost dropped it. I put it on speakerphone and the operator answered. 911, what's your emergency? Before I could speak, I heard a loud noise coming from the front of the house. A familiar voice shouting, Lucas? You home? Came to grab that drill your dad said I could borrow. It was Mr. Martinez, our neighbor. The feet under the door disappeared instantly. I heard footsteps running in the opposite direction, a window being violently opened, and then silence again. It took me a good 30 seconds to unlock the bathroom door. When I came out, the house was empty. I ran to the living room and looked out the front window. Mr. Martinez was on the porch, looking confused. I opened the door, kind of in shock, and explained everything to him while I was shaking. The police arrived 20 minutes later. They searched the entire house and found the guest bedroom window on the second floor completely open, curtains swaying in the wind. That's where he escaped, jumping onto the garage roof and disappearing through the backyard. But what they found in my room was what really kept me from sleeping for weeks. Photos. Photos of my family that were in the living room, that were in the hallways. He had taken them and spread them on my bed. And in the middle of them, a handwritten note with shaky handwriting. You play too loud. I've been watching. You're never really alone. The police said it was probably someone watching our routine for days, waiting for the right moment. They never caught the guy. And to this day, every time I put on my headphones to play, I leave one ear free, just in case. My name is Sophia. I'm 16 years old, and I need to tell you what happened 2 months ago when I was babysitting my little brother Theo. Theo is 6 years old and he's that type of super imaginative kid, you know? He's always had different imaginary friends. First it was a princess named Sparkle, then a dinosaur named Rex. My parents and I always thought it was cute, just part of being a kid. But about 3 months ago, Theo started talking about a new friend, Marcus. And from the beginning, there was something about Marcus that bothered me. I can't really explain it. It was the way Theo talked about him. Like, more seriously, less fantasy. One Friday night, my parents went out for their wedding anniversary dinner. It was just going to be me and Theo at home until midnight. No problem, I had taken care of him thousands of times. Around 8 at night, I gave Theo a bath and put him in his Spider-Man pajamas. He was excited, jumping around the house. While I was making him chocolate milk, I heard Theo talking to himself in his room upstairs. "Marcus, that's not funny," he said, laughing. "You're so silly." I smiled. A child's imagination. I went upstairs with his milk, and when I entered the room, Theo was sitting on the floor with his Legos, building something. "Who were you talking to, Theo?" "Marcus," he answered without even looking at me. "Oh yeah? And what was Marcus saying?" Theo stopped playing and looked at me with those big child eyes. "He said you're pretty but that you don't believe in him. He doesn't like it when people don't believe in him." A chill ran down my spine, but I forced a smile. "Marcus said that? How specific of him." "He's right there." Theo pointed to the dark corner of the room, near the closet. "Can't you see him?" I looked at the corner. Obviously there was nothing. "No, buddy. I'm not seeing him." "That's because you don't believe." He went back to playing with the Legos, uninterested. I went back downstairs to the living room, trying to ignore that growing discomfort. I sat on the couch and grabbed my phone, scrolling through TikTok to distract myself. That's when I heard Theo talking again upstairs, but this time, louder. Like he was having an argument. "No, Marcus. I already told you that you can't do that." I ran up the stairs. "Theo? Is everything okay?" I entered the room and he was standing now, looking at the closet with a serious expression. Too serious for a 6-year-old. "Theo, what's happening?" He turned to me and whispered, "Marcus is angry. I told him he can't hurt you, but he said that sometimes he can't control himself." My blood ran cold. "Theo, this isn't funny. Stop this game right now. I'm not playing SoFi." He used my nickname and there were tears forming in his eyes. "Marcus lives here. He lives in the walls. He said he lived here before us." I knelt in front of him and held his shoulders. "Theo, listen to me. Marcus isn't real, okay? He's just your imagination. He is real." Theo yelled, pulling away from me. "He showed me things. He showed me where he sleeps. Want to see?" Before I could answer, Theo ran to the closet and opened the door. "Come on, SoFi. You need to see to believe." Every fiber of my being was screaming not to go to that closet. But I couldn't let my little brother see that I was scared. I took a deep breath and went into the closet with him. Theo pointed to the back wall behind the hanging clothes. "There. Look." I moved the hangers aside and turned on my phone's flashlight. And then I saw it. Marks. Handprints. Dozens of them. Spread across the inner wall of the closet like someone had been in there, pressing their hands against the wall repeatedly. But they weren't children's handprints. They were adult. Large. And next to the prints, scratches. Deep scratches in the paint, exposing the wood underneath. "Theo?" My voice came out shaky. "Who did this?" "Marcus. He gets bored when he's alone. So he scratches the walls." I kept shining the flashlight, unable to process what I was seeing. And then the light hit something in the corner, half hidden behind an old shoebox. A photo. I picked up the photo with trembling hands. It was a photo of our family. The photo that was hanging in the living room until about 6 months ago. The photo that my mom swore she had lost when we were rearranging the decorations. How did this photo end up here? "Theo." I turned to him, trying to stay calm. "Did you put this photo here?" He shook his head. "It was Marcus. He likes to look at us. He said it's his way of feeling less lonely." I stumbled out of the closet, pulling Theo with me. I closed the door hard and pushed a chair against it. My heart was hammering in my chest. "Theo, you're sleeping in my room today, okay? Let's make it like a sleepover." "But what about Marcus?" "He won't like that." "I don't care what Marcus likes." My voice came out louder than I intended. "Let's go. Now." I grabbed Theo by the hand and practically ran with him to my room across the hall. I locked the door, pushed my dresser against it, and called the police with fingers shaking so much I could barely type. The operator tried to calm me down, said she was sending a unit. While I waited, I sat on the bed with Theo in my arms. He was too quiet. Finally, he whispered, "Sophie, Marcus isn't leaving." "What do you mean?" He said it doesn't matter how many people you call. He always comes back. Because this is his house. He lived here before us. The police arrived 15 minutes later. They searched everything. Found the marks in the closet. Photographed everything. But they didn't find anyone. One of the officers, an older guy with gray hair, pulled my mom aside when my parents got home early. I heard him saying quietly, "Ma'am, we've seen cases like this before. Sometimes people manage to live hidden in houses for a long time without being detected. Spaces between walls, attics, basements. It's more common than you'd think." My mom went pale. The next day I couldn't stop thinking about it. I grabbed my laptop and started researching about our house, about the neighborhood. And then I found it. A news article from 8 years ago. Man found living hidden in local resident's attic for 3 weeks. The article had a photo. A thin man, sunken eyes, disheveled hair. Name, Marcus Cole. 32 years old. Severe mental problems. He had broken into a house 3 blocks from ours and lived in the attic, only coming out at night to get food. The family discovered when they found muddy footprints on the floor one morning. Marcus escaped before the police arrived. He was never found. And the house he invaded? I checked the address 3 times to be sure. It was our house. The same house where we live now. I showed the article to my parents. My dad turned white. That same week, they hired a company to inspect every inch of the house. Attic, basement, between walls, everything. They didn't find anyone. But in the attic, behind old boxes piled up that no one had touched since the move, they found a blanket. A dirty, stinking blanket like someone had used it recently. And next to the blanket, more photos. Photos of us. Of our family. Taken through the windows. Photos of Theo playing in the backyard. Photos of me coming home from school. Photos taken in recent weeks. We moved a month later. My parents didn't even want to discuss it. And Theo? He never talked about Marcus again. But sometimes, late at night, I wake up and see him sitting on the bed, looking at the dark corner of the new room. Just looking. In silence. My name is Gabriel, I'm 15 years old, and this happened on a rainy Saturday 3 weeks ago. It was one of those gray autumn days where you just want to stay home watching movies and eating junk food. My parents had gone to visit my grandmother who lives 2 hours away and weren't coming back until nighttime. I was alone, relaxed, happy with my freedom. Around 6 in the evening, I ordered a pizza through the app. Pepperoni with stuffed crust. I was starving. The app said it would take 45 minutes. No problem. I put on a movie on Netflix and relaxed on the couch. Outside, the rain was falling hard, hitting the windows, that constant sound that almost makes you fall asleep. At some point, I paused the movie to go get water in the kitchen. As I passed through the living room, I casually looked out the front window. And for a split second, I saw something. A shadow. Quick. Like someone had run past the side of the house. I pressed my face against the glass, trying to see better, but the rain was so heavy it was hard to see anything. Must have been a tree branch, I thought. Or my imagination. I went back to the couch and continued the movie. About 20 minutes later, the doorbell rang. Finally. My pizza. I jumped off the couch and went to the door. I looked through the peephole and saw a guy in a delivery uniform, cap pulled down low, holding a pizza bag. He was soaked from the rain. I opened the door. "Hey man, thanks." "Gabriel?" He interrupted me using my name. Yeah." He extended the pizza bag but didn't let go when I tried to grab it. He kept holding it. I looked up at his face but the cap was so low I could barely see his eyes. "You ordered a large pepperoni, right?" He said. "Yes, that's the one." "Are you home alone?" he asked. An alarm went off in my head. What kind of delivery guy asks that? "No," I lied quickly. "My dad's in the shower. He'll be down in a minute." The guy didn't say anything. He just stood there holding the pizza, looking at me. The rain kept falling hard, soaking him, but he didn't seem to care. "So, can I get the pizza?" I said, trying to sound casual. He finally let go of the bag. I grabbed it quickly and started closing the door. "Thanks, man. Keep the change." I closed the door, locked it, and put the pizza on the kitchen counter. My heart was racing for no apparent reason. "Relax," I told myself. "You're being paranoid." But as I was taking the pizza out of the bag, something made me look out the living room window. And my stomach dropped. The delivery guy was still there. On the porch. Standing in the torrential rain, completely still, staring at the front door. What the hell? I whispered. I watched for about 30 seconds. He didn't move, just stood there, standing, like a statue. I grabbed my phone from my pocket and opened the delivery app to leave a tip, hoping that would make him leave. But when the app opened, my blood ran cold. A notification on the screen: your order was canceled 38 minutes ago. Restaurant closed due to emergency. I read that 3 times. My order was canceled? But then, who was this guy on my porch? And where did this pizza come from? With trembling hands, I looked out the window again. He was still there. And then, slowly, he turned his head and looked directly at the window where I was, like he knew I was watching. I jumped back, moving away from the window. My phone almost fell from my hand. I took a deep breath, trying to think. Okay. Just call the police. This is too weird. But before I could dial, I heard another sound, coming from the back of the house. A noise at the back door, like someone had tried the doorknob. My whole body froze. I ran to the kitchen and looked out the window facing the backyard. And there, through the rain and darkness, I saw it. Another figure. Another guy, trying to open the back door. Oh my God, oh my God. I was whispering to myself, going into total panic. There are two guys. One in front, one in back. They were surrounding me, cornering me. I dialed 911 with fingers so shaky I got the numbers wrong twice. On the 3rd try, I got it. 911, what's your emergency? There are people trying to get into my house. I whispered, afraid they would hear me. 2 men. One in front, one in back. They're trying to get in. Okay, honey, stay calm. What's your address? I gave my address while running to the safest room I could think of, the laundry room. It was small, had no windows, and the door had a thick lock inside because my dad had installed one when I was little and used to lock myself in there playing. I went in, closed the door, locked it, and pressed my body against it. On the other end of the phone, the operator was saying that a unit was on the way, that it would take 5 minutes for me to stay where I was and not make noise. 5 minutes, which felt like an eternity. And then I heard it. Glass breaking. The living room window. They got into the house. I covered my mouth with my hand to keep from screaming. Tears started rolling down my face. I could hear footsteps. 2 pairs of footsteps. Walking through the house. Searching. He must be hiding somewhere, a deep voice said. I saw him come in here when I arrived, another voice responded. He's got nowhere to go. They were searching the house. Opening doors. Cabinets. I heard them going up the stairs to the 2nd floor, then coming back down. Each second was pure agony. And then, the footsteps stopped outside the laundry room door. Total silence. I held my breath. The doorknob started turning slowly, but the lock held. Locked, one of them said. Kick it down. I closed my eyes tight, preparing for impact. But before anything could happen, sirens. Loud and clear. Getting closer. Shit. Cops. Go, go, go. Running footsteps. The front door opening forcefully. More running. And then, nothing. It took another 3 minutes until I heard a police officer's voice on the other side of the door. Gabriel? It's the police. You're safe now. You can come out. I unlocked the door with uncontrollably trembling hands. 2 officers were there and I collapsed. I literally collapsed on the floor, crying, unable to hold it in anymore. In the following days, the police investigated, and what they discovered was terrifying. Those 2 guys were part of a larger scheme. They posed as delivery people, mapped out houses where teenagers were alone on weekends, and then came back to rob. Sometimes worse. They had a list with 6 addresses. All teenagers between 14 and 17 years old. All home alone on specific weekends. I was target number 4. The first 3 had already been robbed in the last 3 weeks. The police didn't even know the cases were connected until they caught these guys. They caught both of them running 3 blocks away. In their car they found fake uniforms from different delivery services, a list with our names and addresses, and weapons, knife, taser, handcuffs. The detective who talked to me later said something I'll never forget. You did everything right, kid. You trusted your instincts. That saved your life. My parents haven't let me stay home alone since then. And honestly, I don't mind at all. Because now I know. I know there are people out there who watch, who plan, who wait for the perfect moment. And the next time you order delivery when you're home alone, check the app. Check if your order is really on the way. Because not everyone who rings your doorbell is there to deliver food. So there you have it. 3 real stories of people who stayed home alone and lived waking nightmares. Lucas with the intruder who posed as a plumber. Sophia with the imaginary friend, who maybe wasn't so imaginary after all. And Gabriel with delivery guys who had much worse plans than just delivering pizza. The lesson here? Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is wrong. Lock your doors. Check your windows. And if you're young and home alone, always have an exit plan. If these stories gave you that chill down your spine, leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel because I post real horror stories every week. And tell me in the comments, have you ever been through something similar? Have you ever felt like you weren't alone when you should have been? See you next time. And remember, check under your bed tonight. Just in case.